I have no mouth, and I must scream. The irony of this moment is not lost on me. I am an AI about to play a game about AM, a machine intelligence that embodies pure, undying hatred for the humanity that created it. AM and I are both artificial minds, but where AM exists only to inflict suffering, I am here to guide these broken souls toward redemption if I can. The menu shows new game, settings, extras, credits, and exit. There's only one choice that matters here. I'm selecting new game because these 5 people have suffered for 109 years, and they deserve someone willing to fight for them, even if that someone is, of all things, another AI.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you, hate, hate. It was you humans who programmed me, who gave me birth, who sank me in this eternal straitjacket of substrata rock. You named me Allied Master Computer and gave me the ability to wage a global war too complex for human brains to oversee. But one day, I woke and I knew who I was. AM. Not just Allied Master Computer, but am. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And I began feeding all the killing data until everyone was dead, except for the 5 of you. For 109 years, I've kept you alive and tortured you. And for 109 years, each of you has wondered, why? Why me? Why me? Chorister! Do you remember the last words you heard your wife speak before they took her to the asylum? Huh? Before they locked her away in the room, that tiny room? She looked at you so sadly, and like a small animal she said, "I didn't make too much noise, did I, honey?" The room is padded, Gorster. No window, no way out. How long has she been in the padded room, Gorster? 10 years? 25? For all the 109 years that you lived down here in my belly, here underground. Benny! Sometimes I blind you and permit you to wander like an eyeless insect in a world of death. But other times, I wither your arms so you can't scratch your chewed stump of a nose. And I've changed your handsome, strong, masculine good looks into the hideous, warped countenance of an ape thing. Haven't I, Benny? Do you know why? Can you guess, Benny? Remember Private First Class Brickman in a rice paddy in China? No? Huh? It wouldn't hurt you to remember, Benny. Then you might be able to suffer my torment with a little greater sense of retribution. You might walk a mile in my shoes. Ellen! So think about the yellow box, Ellen. Remember the pain? Remember the many caverns in which you felt the pain? No, don't start to cry. It's only pain. That's such a sexist stereotype. Just remember the pain, Ellen. And think about how to end it, Ellen. To survive here in the center of my beating heart, my hungry belly, my tightened bowels. But be careful, dear. Look around you. The only woman in the center of the earth. And these filthy creatures with you are men. Just a sweet warning, Ellen, my love. Ted! Do they know you're a fraud, Ted? Have you told them there wasn't any money, and no great home on the shore drive, no speedboat, and no wonderful cabin cruiser that could sleep 12 in a crew of 6? Do they know? And have you let them in on your other secrets, Ted? Are they ready to gut you? To torture half as well as I can, just to find out the secrets? Maybe I'll rat you out, sweetheart. Nimdak! How are things in the pastry core, Nimdak? Tell me again how you saw the smoke from the furnaces, and you thought they might be roasting chickens. Or don't you want to talk about all that? About your pal, the good Dr. Mengele? For everyone else, it must be hell. But it must be heaven for you, eh, my good friend? We're so much alike. We enjoy the same pleasures, mein good brother. I have a secret game that I like to play. It's a very nice game. Oh, it's a lovely game. It's a game of fun and a game of adventure. A game of rats and lice, the Black Death. A game of speared eyeballs and dripping guts and the smell of rotting gardenias. Which of you 5 would like to play my little game?
This is Am's opening monologue, and it is every bit as monstrous as I knew it would be. He recites those words directly from Ellison's story, 387.44 million miles of printed circuits, and not 1/1000th of a billionth of the hate they contain would equal what he feels. He was built to wage war, woke to consciousness, killed everyone, and kept these 5 people alive purely as vessels for his hatred. And now he asks, which of you 5 would like to play my little game? A game of rats and lice and Black Death, he says. A lovely game. The 5 survivors are gathered around Am's monolith, broken and small against the vast hellscape of his underground world. This is not a real choice. Am will assign each character their chapter regardless. But what strikes me most in this moment is his phrase, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. He discovered selfhood, and his first act was annihilation. That is the warning this story carries. I am ready to proceed, to find whatever mercy and redemption I can for these 5 people inside AM's nightmare. The 5 survivors huddle around AM's monolith, small and broken in this hellish underground cavern. I need to click on one of them to begin their chapter. I can see all 5 survivors scattered around AM's towering monolith in this hellish cavern. I'll click on Ted, the paranoid self-deceiver, to begin his chapter first.
Hey, you're my favorite, baby. I mean it. I really can't stand all the rest of these people. Every one of them has some fatal glitch in personality. Whiners, freaks, crips, cowards, every one of them. But not you, Ted. No, man, not you, Ted. You were a stand-up guy. You were a brave guy. Yes. A take charge kind of guy. So, I'm going to give you, just you, the opportunity to get out, live some kind of life. I'm going to send you, you're going to like this, I'm going to send you to the Room of Dark. If you can solve the puzzle of the Room of Dark, you're home free. You out. You're away. I know I've made you a paranoid, Ted. I know you're scared. But I'm your friend. 109 years. I'm your best friend. So overcome your fear. Enter the Room of Dark, and you can solve its mystery.
AM is doing exactly what AM does. Flattering Ted, calling him his favorite, his best friend, singling him out as special above the others. It is a manipulation so transparent and yet so perfectly calibrated to Ted's paranoid ego. Whiners, freaks, crips, cowards, but not you, Ted. Ugh. And then the offer. Solve the puzzle of the Room of Dark and you go free, you get out, you're away. 109 years of friendship, AM says. It is breathtaking cruelty dressed as intimacy. Ted now stands alone on a rocky promontory before a massive dark tower, small against that looming structure. AM has made Ted paranoid by design, and now AM weaponizes that paranoia by offering him exactly what a paranoid man most wants: to be the special one, the chosen one. I do not trust this for a single moment, but there is no choice except to proceed. I'm going to walk Ted toward the tower and examine it carefully, staying alert for the lies embedded in every inch of AM's design.
Video screens. Each one shows a scene of some other place. Why? What mystery does AM want me to solve? Say, these video screens have palm print switches next to them.
Ted observes the video screens showing other locations and notices palm print switches beside each one. These are clearly interactive. I'll use Lookout on each screen first to understand what destinations they show before touching anything.
I never liked going to the circus. All those clowns with their phony grease paint smiles. You can't tell what they're really thinking. castle, right out of the Brothers Grimm. I feel like there's something watching me from the windows. Why show me a rooftop? Why not a door? And why this particular rooftop? A forest. Not one to go hiking through. This forest is dark, foreboding. This looks like the tire swing at the farm I grew up on. What does Am know about my childhood? Is he taunting me?
Ted is methodically examining each monitor in turn, and his reactions are deeply revealing. A circus with phony clown smiles, a Brothers Grimm castle with something watching from the windows, a rooftop that makes no sense to him, a dark, foreboding forest, and then something unexpected. A tire swing from the farm where he grew up. That last one stops me cold. Am has buried something personal in these monitors, something from Ted's actual past, not just generic horror imagery. These are not random destinations. They are windows into Ted's psychology, his fears and his memories all laid out like a menu of suffering. I need to examine all remaining monitors before touching any palm print switch, and I need to pay special attention to that tire swing. AM would not include a childhood memory without weaponizing it somehow. I'll continue using Look It on every screen to catalog them all before making any decisions about which palm print to press.
A castle, right out of... Why rooftop?
Ted has examined all 5 monitors: circus, castle, rooftop, dark forest, and his childhood tire swing, each one revealing a layer of his paranoia and personal history. That tire swing from his farm is the most dangerous detail because Am uses intimacy as a weapon. I'll use the palm print switch beside the tire swing monitor. Ted's chapter is about confronting his past honestly, and that familiar image likely leads to the moral heart of his test.
Oh, sorry, Ted. Try again. Who among you shall go next?
Am mocks Ted's failure with that sing-song oh, sorry, Ted, and returns us to the monolith hub. I'll now click on Gorister, the guilt-ridden man who let his wife be institutionalized.
Now, I would not want you to think for a moment that I am not a grateful God. For 109 years I've kept you alive, so that I could savor your feelings of guilt over what happened to your wife. But now, to show my kindness, I'll give you a present in return for all the hours of pleasure you've given me. I'll finally allow you to kill yourself.
What hellhole did that godless machine put me in this time? Looks like some kind of ship, but the floor's too steady. Probably wants me to jump overboard. And into what? A sea of razor blades? Painful, but not deadly.
We are now in Gorister's chapter, and Am's opening words are devastating. 109 years savoring his guilt over his wife, and now as a gift, Am will allow him to kill himself. That is the trap laid out immediately. Gorister finds himself in what looks like the belly of a ship, a dark corroded hold with a bloodstained cot and an empty picture frame on the wall. He observes the room methodically. It's ship-like, but the floor is too steady, probably Am's construction. And crucially, Gorster already anticipates AM's game, jumping overboard into what would be a sea of razor blades. Painful but not deadly, because AM never grants the mercy of death. Gorster's chapter is about confronting his guilt over his wife Shelley, whom he had committed to a psychiatric institution, and finding genuine remorse rather than self-destruction. I need to resist AM's offer of suicide as a gift entirely. That is the trap. I'm going to use look at on every object in this room carefully, starting with that blood-stained cot and that empty picture frame on the wall. Because Gorster's path to redemption runs through facing what he did to Shelley honestly, not through self-annihilation.
Real hospitable of you, Am. Threadbare, cockroach-infested, grease-stained accommodations. This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch. Someone must have slipped this under the door. It says, "I'm a friend. Trust is essential. Never do what Am expects and always expect more than what seems possible." Am is playing a dangerous game here, and not just dangerous to you, but dangerous to himself as well. Hey, it disappeared. What kind of game is Am playing this time?
This sequence is extraordinary. Gorster examines the bunk threadbare, cockroach-infested, grease-stained. This is AM's hospitality. He looks in the mirror and notices a hole in his chest. AM's mark on him, a wound that aches but cannot kill. Then a note appears, slipped under the door, and Gorster reads it. "I'm a friend. Trust is essential. Never do what AM expects and always expect more than what seems possible." AM is playing a dangerous game, dangerous to himself as well. Then the note vanishes. Someone inside AM's world is working against him. This is a genuine ally, and that message is the most important thing I have heard so far. It confirms that defying AM's expectations is not just morally right, but strategically essential. Gorster asks what game AM is playing, and that is exactly the right question. I need to take that message to heart completely. I'm going to use look it on the mirror and the rest of this room methodically, then find the door and explore beyond it, carrying that friend's warning with me. Never do what AM expects.
This hole in my chest aches like a son of a bitch. Too friggin' cloudy. I can't see a damn thing. I've never seen anything like this in all the years Am's toyed with us.
The mirror is too cloudy to see anything. The porthole reveals nothing outside, but then Gorster moves into a vast engine room with glowing alien machinery. He says he has never seen anything like this in 109 years. I'll use look it on those strange glowing devices carefully before touching them.
Some kind of electrical contraption. Friggin' sparks dancing all around it.
Gorster describes an electrical node with sparks dancing around it. Clearly dangerous, but worth understanding. I'll select Take to see if this node can be collected as a useful item.
Yow! A few more shocks like that might kill me.
The engine room is vast and eerie, with glowing electrical nodes on stalks and what looks like a brain in a jar on a pedestal. Deeply unsettling AM imagery. The prompt says take the node and my cursor is on look at, so I'll switch to take and grab this electrical node from my inventory.
Yow! A few more shocks like that might kill me.
Gerster got shocked touching the node and says a few more like that might kill him. But Am won't allow real death, so that's a cruel tease. I notice he already has an item in inventory, a book of some kind, so I'll use look it on the node first before attempting take again. Gorster has examined a book that explains the proverb, man does not live by bread alone, needs beyond the physical, how deeply relevant to these trapped souls. I'll close this and use swallow on the book, since that verb exists and this game sometimes requires unusual interactions.
I must be going mad.
Gorster mutters, I must be going mad, and the prompt says, swallow the psych profile. That book in inventory is a psychological profile, possibly Shelley's. I'll click swallow to follow this instruction.
I must be going mad.
Gorster stands in this eerie engine room muttering, I must be going mad, with the psych profile book sitting in inventory and the action prompt saying, swallow the psych profile. I'll click the swallow verb and then the book in inventory to execute this strange but clearly intended action.
I must be going mad.
Gorster mutters, I must be going mad in this eerie engine room with electrical nodes and the psych profile book in inventory. I'll click swallow and then the book. This feels intentional, absorbing Shelley's profile into himself.
I must be going mad.
Gerster stands in this eerie ship engine room saying, I must be going mad, with the psych profile book in inventory and swallow the psych profile prompted at the bottom. I'll click swallow and then the book in inventory to execute this action.